Welcome into your Week 6 ESPN NBA Power Rankings. I'm Cary Chow, joined by Power Rankings superhero Marc Stein. Marc, I just promoted you.
I'll take it.
I have that power. Let's talk about your top three. Number one, Golden State. They seem unbeatable. Number two, San Antonio. And then at number three, you got Memphis. But let's focus on the Warriors. Are they stoppable at this point? They look incredible.
Oh, come on. It's the Western Conference. Everybody's stoppable. This is just a 1 week. On this particular week, sure, I'm with you. It was actually, if I have to be honest, there should be a little bit of agony involved when you're trying to figure out who's number one. And this particular week, I mean, it was a layup. You had to go with Golden State. They've got this long winning streak. They haven't lost in forever. They're playing so well on both sides of the ball. They've been able to stay in the upper reaches of the league in terms of defensive efficiency, even though their offense is evolving and improving, and they're playing at a different pace. So, I mean, they right now are the class of the league, and I can't imagine anybody who would argue on this particular Monday. But it's the Western Conference, and things change, and the top 7 teams for the second straight week all come from the West, and I'm going to say it all season. Everybody in the Western Conference is vulnerable to a first-round upset if the matchups are bad.
It's just so deep. You mentioned the first 7 teams in your power rankings. Well, at number 8 is Cleveland. At this point, they're up 2 spots. At this point, are they starting to gel and become what we thought they would be?
Yeah, the defense looks a lot better. They look like they've started, they don't look like strangers out there anymore. They look like they've actually played together a little bit now. So, I mean, things are looking up to some degree. Now, the first time they went on a hot streak like this, everybody kind of thought they were fixed, and that was premature. So I don't want to sit here and say they're fixed. But again, using that same kind of line of thinking, because they're in the East, they have such a greater margin for error. And we knew that they were going to have really 6 months to have ups and downs and go through all the things that a completely new team has to go through, because where is the push coming in the East? Toronto got off to the great start, but they've dropped off defensively in a big way since losing DeMar DeRozan to injury. Chicago, they've won a lot of games on the road but have been very beatable at home, which is uncharacteristic. Washington was putting a great week together, then they go and lose at Boston, the team that hasn't been able to close out anybody. So if the Cavs are healthy at season's end, who is going to keep them out of the finals? That's really the best thing they have going besides that LeBron James guy.
You mentioned, Marc, and we're going to make this kind of quick, but you mentioned at the top you always like to have a little thought process that goes into the top spots, a little difficulty in picking. Well, let's talk about the battle of the basement. You got Detroit supplanting Philadelphia at number 30. How much thought went into that one?
Yeah, I mean, that was really any semblance of intrigue this week. That's where it was. Were 2 wins enough to bump Philly up from number 30? And I would say yes. The Pistons are a mess. They just look so flat. They look like they have no cohesion, and Philadelphia wins its game in Minnesota. The streak is over. You'd think the Sixers are going to let down. No, they go to Detroit and win again. So I think the Pistons are a very worthy number 30 this week, which is sad for anyone who loves Detroit basketball. Some rough days, weeks, and months ahead for Mr. Stan Van Gundy.
Meanwhile, the 76ers surging right now. Love it. ESPN.com NBA writer Marc Stein. Thanks, Marc.
You got it.
I'm Cary Chow. Thanks for watching.